Have you ever kissed a girl and liked it? Mm-hmm. Have you ever superglued cans of whipped cream to your boobies and sprayed it all over your audience? Have you struggled to stay relevant in an unforgiving media landscape to the point where you literally had to launch yourself into space just to post your tour set list? Well, if you answered yes to those questions, then you obviously are Katy Perry. Either that or you're my Uncle Steve. It could go either way, but you're probably Katy Perry. And I'm very flattered that you're watching my channel today. Not surprised, but flattered. Anyway, today we will be discussing one of the most ill-fated voyages of all time, apart from, of course, my 8th grade trip to Hannibal, Missouri. We're going to talk about Katy Perry going to space, doing sketchy stuff, and of course we are going to roast the living heck out of some viral, crash and burn moments on her current Lifetimes tour. But we're gonna do it with love, you know what I mean? So let me catch you up in case you've been living under a rock, which I know a lot of you are. So if you don't know already, a few weeks ago, Katy Perry went to space on Jeff Bezos's commercial space company called Blue Origin. Katy Perry went to space with an all-female crew for essentially what the internet has labeled as no reason. She went to space. For no reason.
Doing this for the next generation to inspire so many different people, but especially young girls to go, I'll go to space in the future. No limitations.
Well, the limitations for most people would be, a lack of extreme wealth and fame. But you know what? Yes, little girls, if you happen to become an international pop star, there's no limits to what you can do and no limits to what you can blow your money on.
I'm really excited about the engineering of it all. I'm excited to learn more about STEM and just the math about what it takes to accomplish this type of thing. I've always been interested in astrophysics.
Katy, are you really though? Are you really going to learn the math of aerospace engineering? A decade of specialized study and things I just Googled. Things like orbital mechanics and fluid dynamics. Are you going to learn that? You can't even pronounce astrophysics. You can't even pronounce astrophysics.
Astrophysics.
Also, Gayle King was part of the flight crew. She looked thrilled. She really looked like she enjoyed it. But listen, you guys, I don't have a big problem with Katy going to space, okay? That's not inherently the thing. And one could argue that celebrities should be able to blow their money however they choose to. So it's not just her going to space that I'm upset about. It's more like her proclaiming that the space flight is a giant leap in feminism, while dressed up as a space Barbie and promoting her tour. That's kind of not a good look, And when I say not a good look, I literally mean it because I could not read. What was on that little butterfly. Was it the song? Was it the set list or the tour schedule? It doesn't matter. Can't read it. Some poor intern on Katy Perry's team probably got fired over that butterfly. So people didn't like that she, took the opportunity of being in space to promote her tour. It didn't help that it came right after one of her fellow crew members held up the Bahamian flag. I'm actually into this, Katy. It's giving girl who posts drunk bachelorette party photos on the same day as a natural disaster energy. You know what I mean? And as if this wasn't all too much already, when she returned home from her space flight, she did this.
Pop singer Katy Perry is officially an astronaut.
Katy!
She kissed the dirt. She kissed the dirt and she liked it.
This experience is second to being a mom.
I don't believe you. I think you wanted to say that being a mom was second to this experience. Just a minute. At first, when I saw her kissing the dirt, I was like, is this really that big of a deal? She got to be in space and she's showing appreciation for coming back home and la 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 la. But at the same time, she was only in Earth for 10 minutes and 21 seconds, which is less time than it takes me to find out what I want to order for dinner. It doesn't warrant a kiss from the dirt, I guess, okay? Now, you get yourself stuck on the tarmac of a Spirit Airlines flight for 4 hours while a power-hungry flight attendant doesn't want to let you go pee? By all means, kiss the dirt. Then you get to kiss the dirt. So the backlash for this was fierce and swift. Celebrities were coming out of the woodwork to roast her for this. We had Olivia Munn, Emily Ratajkowski. Sorry, I'm butchering that last name, I know. Lily Allen called it out of touch. Wendy's, straight up Wendy's, the burger chain, they even spoke up and said how much they didn't like what Katy Perry was doing. And they posted to X saying, "Can we send her back?" my God. Which actually wasn't even the funniest part about being mocked by a burger chain, because after being asked to walk it back, Wendy's refused to apologize. Wendy's really said, I said what I said. I, the burger chain Wendy's, said what I said. So you may be wondering, like, how is Katy doing with this massive pile-on? I mean, she's getting just annihilated. And to me, like, she's always had a really good sense of humor, and she's always kind of been able to laugh at herself and doesn't appear to take herself too seriously. But it does feel like the backlash is kind of affecting her. She recently wrote on Instagram, when the online world tries to make me a human piñata, I take it with grace and send them love. Because I know so many people are hurting in so many ways, and the internet is very much so a dumping ground for the unhinged and unhealed. I feel attacked, but okay. Unhinged, unhealed, dumping ground. All of those things are true about me, actually. But I do like her metaphor of being a human piñata, because I feel like she's just, if she were a human piñata, she'd be full of like cool shit. So anyway, if it was just the space stuff, I would be like, look, Kathy, fair point, okay? But holding up her tour schedule while in space is not the only thing she has done recently that has ticked the internet off. There was also the whole debacle with her putting out an album produced by Dr. Luke. I'm not going to get into that whole part of this story, but there are a ton of creators who have made videos about it if you want to look into that and why, you know, she shouldn't have done that. But also, the thing that really made me want to make this video are these viral clips I've seen of what's been happening on her current Lifetimes tour. I think the first creator I saw talk about it was Penguin Zero. His name is Charlie. I watch him all the time. He's a great creator. He's very on top of stuff. He posted this video. I think it's called The Katy Perry Situation is Crazy. And I like didn't understand what I was looking at in the thumbnail. And I was like, oh no, what's she doing now? And then I watched the video and I thought, oh wait, this could be hilarious to talk about. So she's going crazy viral right now, essentially for how bad fans feel that her shows have been on this most recent tour that she's on. A lot of clips have been shared, not only about this weird like lightsaber fight she had with someone dressed up as an alien, but also her dance moves, the choreography. Listen, I will never claim to be a professional dancer, but I'm actually shocked by this. Like, so much preparation and rehearsals had to have gone into this concert. How did we get here? How did they land on this? Say what you will, her glutes are looking freaking fire. Her glutes are looking fire. What do you want me to say? That's a big mood. It's actually even so much worse. Like, what was that last move? She almost looked like she forgot everything and was just
Oopsies.
wow. I totally like can see. It hurts me a little bit to rip on her for this because I have had a very, 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 very small, minuscule experience with being a touring artist, you know, comedian. It's so freaking stressful. This is on another level. Like, I can't imagine what goes into stuff like this and what it takes to do performances like this. At the same time, I know she's better than this. We've all seen Katy way better than this. I've been to a Katy Perry concert in like 2014 and it was a super fun time, but I was actually really upset because I had to do everybody's makeup before and then there wasn't enough time to do my own hair, and then like everybody acted like I made everybody late, but I had to get them all ready. But anyway, I digress. Point is, if I paid a lot of money to see this, I would be a little bit disappointed at the baby shark dance move. And people, like I said, are also pointing out the sort of what appears to be cheap production, like the plastic lightsabers. But like, okay, lightsabers aren't real. Okay, they're a theoretical technology.
But you don't say that.
So to me, she gets a pass for like not creating a new type of matter. But yes, that is a giant air conditioning duct trying to eat her. So not her best performance, you know what I mean? I can hear the dads watching me right now being like, cheap production value. Any homeowner who's done HVAC repairs knows them ain't cheap. But honestly, like, this performance to me has the vibe of a rehearsal where you're still ironing out the kinks. You know what I'm saying? And it's all kinks, dude. Okay? I've seen more excitement at a birding seminar. And yes, I've been to a birding seminar. I can't help myself though. You know, I've been waiting for one of you guys to ask me on TikTok or tag me or something on Twitter so that I can use your comment and make this video, but none of you are asking me, so I'm just gonna do it. I would like to present to you with my hilarious squeaky shoe edit of Katy Perry's latest dance. Nailed it. There's so much more terrible choreography. Like, take for instance this action sequence where she has to kind of wait for a 2 count and then scurries under this ninja, like what I used to do when participating in school fire drills. This clip in particular has led some fans to refer to Katy as Timu Gaga, which I take exception to because, you know, putting Timu before something is kind of becoming like an overused joke. Like, quit calling me the Timu Brittany Broski, okay? Or the Timu Chelsea and Lynn. I get it. I think we can do better. I think we can use like off brands like Equate, like she's the Equate Ariana Grande. It sounded funny for a second. But friends, the world's saddest game of leapfrog aside, I do think it's fair to ask, what's going on with our girl? You know what I mean? It's also like, just to be, you know, myself, devil's advocate, she's always been kind of unique. Like, remember her short blonde hair era? Her short blonde hair? And I remember I thought she was kind of going crazy when she made that video of her baby's nursery.
Just a little sneak peek. I have some little clothes on the wall. And this little mobile.
So on one hand, it seems like there's something going on, but on the other hand, like, she's always been weird, which, you know, what's wrong with weird? Nothing's wrong with weird. It does just kind of seem like she's just, you know, going through the motions. These motions.
Okay.
I can't help but think, again, just as someone who has, you know, dabbled a tiny bit in this industry, I can't help but wonder if, like, some of this is stuff that she has signed contracts for. Like, I know personally there have been a ton of things, especially in the last year or so, that I have done despite the fact that I did not want to and that I didn't have a good gut feeling about it. And I've done them anyway because I was either pushed and peer pressured into it, or I had to do it because I had signed a contract. And I don't know the details, but I'm just like, I'm hoping and praying that maybe that's what happened with the Dr. Luke thing. I can't wrap my mind around the fact that she would want to work with him after he was, you know, accused of sexual assault. Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. Why did Katy Perry work with Dr. Luke? Oh, there's a Reddit post who says she explained why she worked with Dr. Luke.
Why did you choose to work with him?
Look, I understand that it started a lot of conversations, and he was one of many collaborators that I collaborated with. But the reality is it comes from me. The truth is, I wrote these songs from my experience of my whole life going through this. He was one of the people to help facilitate all that. One of the writers, one of the producers. I am speaking from my own experience. Like, when I speak about Woman's World, I speak about feeling so empowered now as a mother, as a woman. Another set of organs, a brain, a heart. I created a whole ass heart.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's not the answer I expected, Kathy. What do the comments say on this Reddit post? Hold up. The top comment says, the thing about working with him is, and then she goes on about a bunch of unrelated stuff. Cool, it came from you. You still worked with an effing predator and gave him money. You're not empowering anyone, Katy. Oh, said it's a BS answer, but if it were true, then that's even worse, because if it did all come from you, Katy, why did you need Dr. Luke? You could have worked with literally literally anyone else. Dude, see, this is why I'm not good at covering these topics, guys, because I just like, I want so badly to be fair and neutral, and then I get disappointed, and then I look stupid for trying to be fair and neutral, but not as stupid as this. Also, I mean, I heard Woman's World, and I'm just wondering, like, is he really that great of a producer? Have I been using the toilet wrong? So the next thing I've been hearing about, especially like today specifically, is her ticket sales for her tour. It's coming out across the internet that her tour is not doing well, it's not selling well, and if you like apparently if you go onto like the Ticketmaster website and act like you're going to buy tickets to her concert, you can see which seats are available. I mean, at least from the screen recordings I've seen from other creators, there's a ton of empty seats available, but listen, I don't like dogpiling on people for stuff like this, because this is what I learned recently, okay? Again, as somebody who has just done a tiny little minuscule tour. Apparently, it's really hard for people to sell tickets now. I was very, very fortunate that I didn't have to cancel any of my shows. Thank you to all of you who showed up. However, it wasn't just like a easy breezy, I mentioned the tour one time and sold out every show, lemon squeezy. You know what I mean? There was a lot of promoting it. I was sick of myself. I was sick of myself for promoting it. There were some cities that did well, and some cities, like, for no rhyme or reason, I just absolutely could not sell tickets, like Kansas City, Brooklyn, New York. And I just, like, there wasn't really any like data or info or any way for me to figure out which cities were going to do well and which ones weren't. So, and recently I had dinner with another creator. Her and I were talking about touring and stuff, and she said that like in the last year and a half, everybody that she knows in like the comedian world, they're all struggling with ticket sales, at least in comparison to what they were a couple years ago. So something is going on, and it's not entirely Katy Perry's fault, and it's not entirely because of this. Although I'm sure it doesn't help. This is interesting to me too, right? Because whoever, like the touring do artists work with touring companies? I worked with a touring company. I don't know if like super famous people like this work with touring companies, but whose idea was it to do these sizes of arenas? That's what I want to know, because someone fudged the bucket here. If this ends up being really true and these tickets don't sell and she has to cancel shows so that she doesn't lose money on like the cost of the venues and flights and all that. Whose idea was that? Did you guys not see a rehearsal of the show before you picked the venues? That wasn't very nice. Sorry, Katy Cats. Hold up, there's one more thing. It just keeps getting worse, if you can believe it. Let me just read you what I just read on the internet right now. Katy Perry was involved in a legal battle with a group of nuns over her attempt to buy a Los Angeles convent that she wanted to convert into a mansion. It escalated into a lawsuit, and during one court hearing, an 89-year-old nun opposing the sale tragically... Please don't cancel me for laughing at that. I'm just uncomfortable. During one court hearing, an 89-year-old nun opposing the sale tragically collapsed and died. And the internet is basically saying like, dude, Katy Perry kind of just killed a nun. And yet you're not canceled. Her list of offenses is getting pretty long, dude. I mean, I think the dance moves were the tip of the iceberg. Let's not forget when she sang with Talking Poop and that giant toilet, married Russell Brand. I could go on, but I think this video is getting a little too lengthy. So I guess that's it for me today. Katy Perry's self-awareness, maybe not her top calling card. I'm gonna go learn how to properly use a toilet and a lightsaber. And I think I'm gonna try and learn some of this choreography. Although it looks really difficult. I love you, my friends, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out! Superhuman #1. People say I can't do Katy Perry, and I think my impersonation is so good. And I'm ready to go, lead me into the light. That was pretty freaking good, dude. Oh wait, there's also the trend happening right now where people are like, you're like an Indian summer in the middle of a winter like a...
I don't sing like that.
Did you guys know that I loved that song so much and that video so much? I was a huge fan when she first came out, and I learned that song on guitar, and I played that song and sang it for Nick the first night we ever hung out. Not that it was like not that it related to like our dating situation, because it was the first night we ever hung out. Oh, it's stuck in my head. I kissed some dirt and I liked it. The taste of rotting plants and nematodes. That's what's inside of dirt, is rotting plants and nematodes.
You're a beautiful woman, that's for sure.
What's that?
I said you're a beautiful woman, that's for sure.
It's a whole lot of mock-up. lots of makeup on my face.
I had lots of makeup on my face.
What do you think? Is Mario too distracting back there?
I think it's cool. But, you know, you gotta anticipate what people are gonna complain about. I had to turn it off because he game.
I'm distracted. I'm distracted trying to film while seeing Mario back there, you know what I mean? So the uniforms they wore were also like a point of contention amongst the internet. They were designed by Jeff Bezos's fiance, right? That's what this says. They were designed by her and I think like a laid off Spirit Halloween employee.